Hi everyone, it's the Comic Fan Man here coming at you with another video. And in today's video, we're going to show off here MOTU Classics Rio Blast. Yes. And this is really cool because I was not even looking for this figure. I was actually going to get the Origins Rio Blast, and I just happened to look on eBay real quick, and it had my search on there for Rio Blast, and there he was. It was a Rio Blast MOTU Classic style, and he was cheaper than the Origins Rio Blast. So because the Origins Rio Blast, you're also paying shipping and stuff on it, and this one I was able to get him for less than what that Rio Blast was going to cost. Look at, I love these gloves. Look at these gloves. Oh my goodness. He's such a fantastic looking figure. But yeah, we're going to get into it. I want you to see the whole thing. And yeah, I could not be happier. I was really surprised. There are actually quite a few MOTU Classics figures that you can get at a very great price, and Rio Blast was one of them. All right, let's get into this video. All right, so here we have Rio Blast with all of his accessories, and yeah, it looks really nice. These are his leg cannons. Now in the vintage figure, all of this would be tucked into here. There would be little cutouts, and over here as well there would be a cutout, but they didn't do that here. They actually did separate pieces here. This is the chest cannons that you would actually plug in to these little holes. And over here, oh, is there a left and right? Can't really tell. No, doesn't seem to be a left and right. It just pops in. All right, so that's those cannons. Really neat. But yeah, the only thing is like, you know, obviously now you kind of have to be careful not to lose these pieces when you close them up. And also this doesn't close all the way, simply because it's got that little peg there and it's just bumping up. But it doesn't bother me too much, you know, going from the face there. It looks pretty good. I like the little extra blue buttons there. That's really neat. This is my first real MOTU Classics figure, and just the paint detail and everything is really neat here. Here are his blasters that go in his hands. So you just slide them in. The play feature, obviously, from the vintage figure, these would already be attached. You would just flip them around to get them in there. And then this is the backpack here, and it slides up to cover him, just like the vintage figure. And these are the hoses. These hoses were on the vintage figure. They were actually sculpted onto his arm, but they're actually hoses now. On the MOTU Classics figure, there you go. And then you just attach them in here and here. Boop and boop. There you go, Rio Blast. And then you bring this over and it clicks into place right there. Now, this is kind of funny because whoever designed this, they didn't exactly sculpt it to where it needed to be. So like his eyes, like if you look straight up, he's not looking through the visor. You got to kind of angle it a little bit more. But that's pretty cool. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Like the detail there. Let's take a look at, without the backpack first, let's take a look at the figure now himself. And I think he looks absolutely gorgeous. First of all, let's look at this head sculpt. I gotta tell you, of all of the like figures that I got, this is one of the best head sculpts. Like, he looks very much Western. He's rugged. His handlebar mustache looks really, really cool. I love the expression. I love the windblown, like, feathered look to his hair. Really nice. I love that head sculpt. This is really one of the best head sculpts I've ever seen on a figure. Not gonna lie. And this Rio Blast vest here is a separate piece. It's not part of his body. Which is what's making his body look like really puffy here. Like his wings there are really, really big. Look at the bullets here on his belt, the detail on his belt, his little cod piece there. Really cool, goes all the way around. He's got a whip and a little sack there. Very cool. And then, you know, his chaps, his cowboy chaps. Really excellent design. Look at all of this. Very cool. Look at this side, the same. And then he's got the Spurs. Look at that. Really giving him a very nice Western look. All right, let me throw all his pieces on so we can have a look at him in full battle mode. All right, so here he is in full battle mode. Rio Blast, and I think this looks so cool. He's got all his guns out blazing. Yeah, unfortunately, in filmation time, he never got any TV time. They did not get to him before they canceled the cartoon. But we did finally get to see him in action toward the end of Revelation and during Revolution. So we got that at least. And, you know, like I said, I actually was just gonna go get the Origins version of this figure. But when I saw that this was available for about, I think it was about $15 less, I was like, holy crap, I can get a MOTU Classics version of Rio Blast? Yeah, let me jump on that right now. And like I said, he looks really cool. The closest thing to that there was a character that that Filmation did do in the She-Ra cartoon called Colonel Blast.
You're good, She-Ra, but my electro blasts would put you to sleep. Pleasant dreams, She-Ra. No!
Which actually had all of this play feature. So I'm wondering if that was supposed to be Rio Blast and they just changed it. But yeah, there was a Colonel Blast in the She-Ra cartoon that had all of these play features. And man, like I said, you know, for me, the biggest thing here is like his face sculpt. His face sculpt is really, really cool. And then, like, you know, his little like sheriff badge is really neat. And this whole thing, like, really, Rio Blast was definitely one of my favorite vintage figures. He was like toward the end of the line. He was like toward the end of my collecting years because everybody was like, he's got to grow up. Don't buy no more stuff for him. And yeah, but he was definitely one of the last of the Masters of the Universe figures that I had gotten. And he was always one of my favorites. And he brought up a lot of crossover for me with Marshall Bravestarr. I don't know if y'all remember that cartoon. That was toward the end of Filmation's lifespan. But yeah, like this whole feel for me, excuse me, because of the color scheme and the design and everything, he was really like a Masters of the Universe version of Marshall Bravestarr. And here is Rio Blast going up against the Masterverse Horde army with Hordak here, the Horde Trooper from Masterverse New Eternia, and Tankhead. And I used the the Faker He-Man from Revelation body to show some battle damage to make this tank head. And as you can see, he's got enough guns for all of them. And I think this looks really cool. Yeah, I am so happy. I could not believe when I saw the price on this figure. I think he really looks so cool. I think like having him in my collection is really exciting. Yeah, and I didn't realize, like, there are some classics figures that are not really all that expensive, so that's kind of exciting. That there are still some classics figures that you can find for less than their Origins or Masterverse counterpart, and they're definitely better quality. So, you know, I didn't have one, so I was able to pick one up. Really happy with this. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this look at the MOTU Classics Rio Blast. He looks fantastic. I love it. And the fact that I was able to find him for less than the Mattel Creations Origins version of Rio Blast, yeah, made me really super happy and excited. And, you know, again, he was like one of the last of the Masters of the Universe figures to come out, and obviously his theme made no sense because he's a cowboy. How does he fit into a barbarian world? He doesn't really, but you know what, I love the way he looked. I love the way he played. And when I had gotten the original Rio Blast, I also had gotten him around the same time as I had gotten Marshall Bravestarr. So I did use him a lot in my play with Marshall Bravestarr. I basically left him, like, because it was such a size difference, he was basically like a dwarf version of a cowboy. But you know, the fact that I got Rio Blast here, you know, triggered those feelings for Marshall Bravestarr. So I said, you know what, I'm sorry, excuse me. You know what I'm missing from my collection here? I am missing Marshall Bravestarr and Tex Hex. And I found them on eBay very cheaply, and I will cover those figures in the next video. But yeah, it was fantastic. I love it. And you know, again, MOTU Classics did such a fantastic job on this figure with the paints, the sculpting, the detailing. You know, it's just amazing. And then this head sculpt here really made him look like a very young Sam Elliott with the feathered hair. Really cool. So very happy with this purchase. All right, if you feel that I've earned it, please give me a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you and have a great day. Bye bye now.